Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah, and in case you didn't watch the first little short video that I made, I am going to be riding my bike across Michigan to raise funds for the League of Michigan Bicyclists. They do a lot of advocacy work here in Michigan to help keep pedestrians and cyclists safe on the roads. And this has become very important to me because 2 years ago, this October, my mother was struck by a car while crossing the road, and we almost lost her. She had a lot of internal bleeding. Her arm was broken in 2 places, and her pelvis was completely shattered. And she spent probably a good 6 months recovering in the hospital. I'm pretty sure it was about 2 weeks in the emergency room. She was on a ventilator, couldn't breathe on her own. In fact, she couldn't even move her eyes once she woke up. They ran all sorts of tests to try to figure out what was going on and why she was unable to track anything with her eyes and move them from side to side or up and down. And that was really scary because we didn't know if there was some brain damage that was missed. Did she hit her head when she was struck and fell down? The doctors weren't quite sure. So after they ran all the tests and couldn't really find anything, they diagnosed her as being locked in. And thank goodness, after about a week and a half, she was able to move her eyes and come out of that. But it was really scary. Like I said, we didn't know if she had suffered some sort of brain injury, if there was damage to her eyes somehow. We weren't sure. And after that, it was a matter of reconstructing her pelvis. They had to put an external fixator around her hips that held her pelvis in place so that it could heal. She wasn't able to even sit up to eat or drink. And that was pretty devastating. So once the fixator was removed from her pelvis, she was finally able to start sitting up in bed, moving around, and then she was transferred to Mary Free Bed, which is an amazing hospital. So impressed with that hospital. They worked wonders with her. She went from being in a wheelchair to being able to walk across the room in roughly 2 weeks. It was pretty amazing. Thank goodness she was in incredible shape before she was struck, because if she had not been so active before the accident, I'm not sure how her recovery would have went. During the whole recovery process, thank goodness I have an amazing extended family, and they rallied around. They were just amazing. I'm so blessed, because it was a very difficult time. But all my cousins, my aunts and uncles, everybody came to visit and keep an eye on her and keep track of her recovery and help out as much as they possibly could. It was absolutely amazing. And for that, I'm very grateful. One of the most surreal moments throughout that whole ordeal was talking to the police officer while I was standing by her bedside, and she was hooked up to the ventilator. We didn't know if she was even going to make it. And let me preface this by saying, as a cyclist, being a member of that community, I think you're just exposed to a lot more information in regards to what is said, what is written in the press when someone gets hit. And it's always the same story repeated over again. You know, it just seems like the motorist, the person driving, they're always given a whole list of excuses of why they couldn't possibly see the person that they hit. It's always some excuse that you're given. It was too dark out, the sun was too bright, it was raining, it was too cloudy, they weren't wearing bright enough clothes. It's always an excuse as to why the driver couldn't possibly have seen the person that you love that is now lying in the hospital bed, and you don't know if they're gonna recover or not. And so when I was standing there by her bedside and the police officer came into her room, I just thought to myself, here we go. This is actually happening to me now. I'm the one who's gonna have to listen to this officer rattle off all the excuses of why this driver couldn't possibly have seen my mother, and that's exactly what happened. And it's just so odd to stand there thinking, I know what this person is gonna say. And then they actually say it. And I don't know. It was really difficult to take because it's just hard. Thank goodness my mother did recover. When you read articles about someone getting struck by a car, either a cyclist or a pedestrian, your first instinct is to just think, well, gosh, I hope they're okay. But if you get struck by a car, even if you're not left with physical damage, I can't imagine just the trauma of dealing with the accident itself. It's got to leave its mark on you. And when someone is seriously injured, it leaves a mark on the entire family. So, I don't know. That's why I'm doing this ride. I feel like there's got to be other people out there like me who struggle with what they've gone through. If they have people in their families, friends that they know who have been struck by a car and been given all the excuses of why the person driving was unable to see them. So that's why I'm doing this ride. I feel like maybe, I don't know, we at least have to try to get the word out that it's not okay. It's not okay when someone gets hit by a car. And we need to do better here in Michigan. We need to do better here in the United States. I think when we get in our cars, we get so self-absorbed with where we're going and what we're doing and how everything is affecting our time. And we lose sight of humanity. We lose sight of the fact that people are walking around and these people have families and friends that care about them. They have lives, they have responsibilities. And it's not okay to not be careful. It's not okay to just drive around like you can't hurt anybody in your car. Your car is basically a weapon, and I don't feel that we treat it as such. So my hope is that at the very least, I can raise enough funds to help the League of Michigan Bicyclists do their job and raise awareness and make the roads safer. And after that, after my ride is finished, I think I would like to continue my channel, and I invite you to subscribe and like if you would, especially if you enjoy content that includes bike packing trips, gear reviews, all that good stuff, and whatever else we decide to chit chat about. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll follow me along my ride. It should be fun. Thanks.